I'm Keith Vaughn. Welcome to the Keith Vaughn channel, Keith Vaughn's Flying Circus, in our Route 66 one-day road trip from 11/22/25, starting in Weatherford and moving west over to Clinton, and then to Foss, Canutes, Elk City, and making our way down to Sayre and over to Eric and Texola, and then ending up in Shamrock. And we hit Weatherford, I believe it was, right, I'm gonna say around 11:30. Weatherford, Space City. They got a big air and space museum, and it's the home of astronaut Thomas Stafford. Right down the road near Foss. One of my favorite spots on Route 66, the old Cobbles or Cobbles place. There is not much on this place anywhere, but it used to be a gas station and a cafe and a repair shop right there on old Route 66. The only info I got is that it opened in the late 30s and shut down in the early 70s. I guess that at one time must have been a dining room. And this is interesting, this wall used to be an exterior wall, and then they built the garage on. You can tell because it says Coble's Place on the wall inside. And there it is outside from the road, where everyone on Route 66 could see it as they drove by. It continues to fall apart, but it was nice to know somebody has come along and cleaned up all of the old limbs, and they've trimmed the trees. That's good. Here's the old restrooms out back. And out front, where the tree is growing up through the cement, just crushing that stuff. It was a nice day. Temperatures, they weren't cold, but certainly wasn't warm. You can see, if you're familiar with this location, how much it has been cleaned up. At I-40, just up the road. Yeah, basement. And the top floor. The floor is long gone. I just wonder how deep all the dirt and leaves and debris is. And another go sign on the side of the building. And my camera stuck in the broken window of the back room. Now there is quite a bit of property around this old service station, so I decided to walk out beside it, and I noticed this. It looks like the base of a sign, and then cement. Not dirt, not the ground, but cement. And I kicked off some of that dirt, and that cement continued. I got a feeling this whole area might just be cement underneath. as you can see right there, right into that tree. And I kept walking. And you can see all kinds of, remnants of construction. And some glitches in my camera. I don't know where that came from. But yeah, something was once built right there. I have no idea what, but something. So I kept walking. And more stuff. Yeah, dry, nothing there. I would imagine that was for water storage at one time. It looks like an old hot water heater. Could be wrong. And continuing to walk around and continuing to get strange glitches on my camera. Yeah, I noticed this off over in the corner. An old sign, have no idea what it said. One side and the other side. So I'm going to assume that at one point there were other buildings off to the side of Cobble's place, right here on Old Route 66. And the ghosts of those who used to work there are screwing with my camera. And continuing to walk through the brush back to Cobble's place. And pretty much back on the road. And this is we head west on Route 66, I believe just past Foss. Two old buildings clearly marked no trespassing. So we didn't. Canute, Oklahoma. And this place was poised at one time for big-time growth, military base near. Lots of commerce, railroad, but just didn't work out. Kupka's Station, built about 1938, I believe. One side built first as a store and a roadhouse, then the other side as a service station. Again, started about 38, 39, and ran, I believe, all the way into the 90s. From my research, I believe that's right. Check out that architecture. Looks like it was once quite a big operation. Kupka's Station, Canute, Oklahoma. And back on the road, Elk City. And they've got a great layout in the museum here. I recommend it. And a cat in the park as we were eating lunch. And back on Old Route 66, tooling through Oklahoma. And here's a true old abandoned portion of Route 66 and more camera glitches. Now we're back on the road. Eric, Oklahoma. Sheb Woolley, Roger Miller, both hometown heroes in Eric. And there's another hometown hero, Harley, right here. His place in Eric, Oklahoma. You'll have to visit Harley's spot. It's just like a block right off of Route 66. He was closed for the day. He's there sometimes he's not. But if you know about Harley, well, you know what I mean. And if you don't, do the research. He's quite a character, no doubt. Originally a meat market, and I believe one of the first buildings constructed in Eric back in the day. And this was kind of sad. This is from 2023 at the West Wind Motel. And their old neon sign, a big part of Route 66 relics and Route 66 lore. That was a hot summer day in 2023. Last time we'd see it, because it's gone now in 2025. I have no idea what the story is, if it's off being restored, or if it was stolen or sold. I got no idea. But it doesn't matter, it's a bummer that it's gone from the old West Winds Motel. There she is. Yeah, the kind of motel you used to be able to pull up and have a garage right next to your room. Yeah, the old sign with the bucking bronco and the cowboy and the neon. It'd been sitting there on Route 66 since I think they said the late 30s. Gone today. And then right down the road, another old motel. And part of it's burned. The old pool. And then right down the road, I got no idea what this was. Could have been a service station or gas station of some kind. But some great Nightmare on Elm Street graffiti on the wall. Yeah, and then of course, right across the road, just a tiny pony horse. Yeah, really enjoy that yard. That's great. Only in Eric, Oklahoma. Another old service station. Looks like that might have been a Texaco at one time. Village says they should be open, but nobody was there. And then down the road in Texola, this old hamburger stand. I've been there a long time. And just a number of years ago, it was starting to lean. You can see the old hood from the cooker. Even neon still on the building. That was in 2003. On a hot summer day. Right there, roadside. Route 66. Electric wires in the antenna on the building. And now it's falling all the way down. Gravity got it. There we are, the big Route 66 through tiny Texola. You got 2 lanes on each side. and didn't see a car all day. Here's the old Western Cafe. Again, I believe it was opened in the 40s. It's been in numerous things over the years, but started as the Western Cafe. And the Western Cafe was a little cafe. Looks like someone may be using it for storage. I don't know. Right there, roadside, Old Route 66 in Texola. And then right behind the old hamburger stand, this building. I'm not really sure what this building is. I've been told it was an outhouse, restrooms at one time. I don't know. Looks kind of big to be that. I don't know what it was. But it's abandoned right there on Route 66. And in pretty tore up shape. And this old service station. Yeah, somebody call that number. No, don't do that. Yeah, no trespassing. Private property. And then down the road, the remains of these buildings, which a couple years ago, there was a wall there, but it came tumbling down. In another building that is listed as a former gas station. And then down the road, this big structure. I'll have to go back on another trip and take a closer look here with more camera glitches going on as I drove by. That's a large building for a little town that's got not much going on in 2025. But back on the road, heading west, as we roll out of Texola. Yeah, there were lots of barking dogs as we rolled out. And here's the state line. Texas, right over there. And I'm standing, shooting video in Oklahoma. This kind of an iconic spot on Old Route 66. What's always got my attention was off to the right of the Texas state line sign. It always looked to me like with those trees and the location, that would have been a perfect spot for a business of some kind. So let's go out and take a look right off of Old Route 66. Yeah, there's all kinds of debris laying around. You can see it everywhere. There's an old structure of some kind. Steps leading up to a building. Oh yeah, there was something out here. One time, long ago. All kinds of discarded stuff. And the camera continues to give me trouble. Yeah, there was all kinds of stuff left out on the side of the road here by the Texas-Oklahoma state line. Been there very long time. And look at that connection. Yeah, there was something out here, some kind of activity. Old cans, open the old-fashioned way. And I believe right along here, you can see a pipe, or should I say a culvert. Some kind of piping, not the kind I'm talking about, but over here, there's going to be a culvert, and you can see where a road at one time was right here off of the old Route 66. Yeah, just meandering around. No particular place to go. There it is right there. There's the culvert and there's the old road right above it. It's obviously a roadway. Yeah, more camera glitches. I gotta figure out what that's being caused by. Yeah, right there. State line between Texas and Oklahoma on old Route 66, right past Texola, Oklahoma. There's westbound, 2 lanes. Used to be a ton of traffic. You wouldn't be able to stand in the road as long as I have. 40 years ago. And I imagine somebody found some of that debris right there, right off the roadside, at the state line. Now back on old Route 66, moving west. Now into Texas, and that means Shamrock. And you know where we're going, the Tower Conoco station. It was a late November, Saturday afternoon, certainly not tourist season, so nobody was there when we were there. Late in the day, November 22, 2025. You may recognize this architecture from the Cars, the Pixar Cars movie, called Cars. All about cars on Route 66. It's a great spot. The Tesla chargers actually got some customers. And the You Drop In, which had been just kind of a museum for years, it's open for real business. And a couple of the Tesla owners were in there having coffee and donuts. But yeah, You Drop In is open for real and serving great food. Menus expanded too, I hear. All the information on the tower building on this marker. Very historic location, and you gotta give it to the community there in Shamrock for the job they've done restoring it. And a hometown hero, Bill Mack. Yeah, Midnight Cowboy. The radio hero has his own plaque and a Texas historical marker in his hometown. Hometown boy turned into a successful man. Bill Mack, hometown Shamrock hero. And that was it. We hit Shamrock, and we turned north, and then back home. We'll be heading back out on the Mother Road very soon, and doing another portion of the Mother Road. Hey, thanks for checking out the video. If you liked it, a great thumbs up would be appreciated. Your subscription also really appreciated. And do check out this other content. Thanks for watching.